everyone, this is Julia from Green Umbrella Marketing, and today we also have...
It's Christina!
Should remember to say hello this time.
I know, I was completely distracted last time.
No worries. We're coming to you every single week with the new stuff that's happened last week in the world of social media and online marketing. So today we've got about 5 or 6 bits of information. There's always something new. We've been doing this now for, producing news for our coaching club every single week for the last 3 years. And we've never missed a week. So we're now bringing this to you guys as well. Anyway, so the first piece of news, I think I'm going to start. Is that all right with you, Chris?
Yeah.
Cool, okie. So the first one is you can now promote your group during a Facebook live video. Actually, I really love this one. So now you're going to get a little tab. Like you can introduce your products and stuff like that when you're doing a post on Facebook. But now if you're doing a Facebook live video, you can also produce your group, obviously as long as you're an administrator of a group. So that's a new thing that was seen in the wild, as they say. So not everybody's got this feature at the moment. By Matt Navarra. He's well known. Follow him on Twitter because he's always producing new stuff. So that's the first one. So promote your group during a Facebook live video. Over to you.
Yeah, so the next thing is, of course, I'm talking, so therefore it's something to do with advertising. Basically, you probably know already that as Facebook business pages, we can now run adverts into Instagram stories, even if we haven't got an Instagram account. But basically the latest change now is that if I'm on Instagram and I don't have a business page on Facebook, I can now put my Instagram stories into the Facebook stories as adverts as well. So same thing, they've just flipped it on their head, which is I think probably as individual personal users, you kind of look at stories on Facebook as this annoying thing that's appearing at the top of your screen. And 6 months ago, we'd have been saying, scratching our heads and saying, well, do you use it? I don't use it. Do you know anyone that uses it? But I think it is really kind of like tipping its hat to the fact that more and more people are taking advantage of it. So, that it's, I hate to kind of, be repeating ourselves, but we need to make sure that every business that we're talking to that is active on Facebook, they're using stories. There's no algorithm there. Facebook's just opened it up to advertising in the last sort of 9-12 months, really. It might not even be that long. So it is going to be like the next place. There's reports of them sort of doing more with the space that stories takes up on a mobile device as well. So, it's going to be really big. You're going to get to a point where you open up your app and all you see is stories.
Yeah.
That's where it's heading. So, start leveraging it now. And like I said, if you're on Instagram and you're not really doing anything with Facebook, but you're thinking, maybe I should, but you haven't got the time to put into it, this could be an opportunity for you with quite a small budget. You can make a difference.
Okay, so who would do that way round? Wouldn't most people have a Facebook page and not an Instagram? I don't know anyone who's got an Instagram and not a Facebook page.
I would say the people that are starting in business now that are the target market is sort of that female 25 to 35 or, I'd say, 18 to 30s even. They're going to be thinking Instagram before they think Facebook.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially anything that's product driven, anything creative, anything that's visually appealing, food related.
Weddings.
That's all. Yeah, absolutely. It's all going to be going Instagram first. And I think we're going to see more and more of that. But what's interesting is the fact that the whole Facebook advertising thing, of all the social advertising that's out there, it's the most successful. It's the one that's got it right. Yeah. Obviously, we had the news last week about, we're going to start seeing ads in WhatsApp. They're opening that up as a placement. We've now got this development with Instagram as well. And then another thing that was announced this week, LinkedIn also do social advertising.
Yeah.
Their results have always been crap. I can't dress it up. I can't, it doesn't deserve any more words. It's just awful. I think unless you've literally got thousands and thousands and thousands to spend, if you want to spend 20 grand a year advertising on LinkedIn, it's probably going to work for you. The types of businesses we work with, it's a waste of time.
Yeah. It's so expensive and the return's just not there.
Yeah, and the big issue with it comes down to, in my opinion, comes down to targeting. The reason that Facebook works so well is that we've got so much power within the targeting, the retargeting options that we've had for ages that have only come to LinkedIn recently.
Yeah.
But they've basically made a change to their ads manager, campaign manager they call it, and it's just bringing it more in line with the way that Facebook Ads Manager works, because they're planning more changes in the future that again are likening it more and more to Facebook advertising.
So LinkedIn's got this new design that looks like Facebook.
Yeah, for me, I look at it, I've read the articles and there's a lot of similarities there. It's the interface is a bit different, but the language is more akin to Facebook. Okay. And like I said, they've also said, what the reason they're doing it is that because what's coming is more of this sort of objective-based campaign structure, which is what Facebook does. Very first step of your Facebook advert is what is your objective. Whereas for LinkedIn, it's been more a case of how much do you want to spend, how much you're prepared to pay. Let's design an advert around that.
Yeah, so they just haven't got their audience all about this with LinkedIn, isn't it? It always has been.
Absolutely. Right.
Anyway, let's get off the topic of LinkedIn, because
you mentioned weddings. Yeah, you mentioned weddings, so the next one's quite apt.
Okay. So the next one that comes up is all about Pinterest. So Pinterest have got a new design of their timeline on mobile, and my first instinct was like, oh my god, is that a takeoff of Instagram or what? It just looks exactly the same. But at the end of the day, if it's working for Instagram, I can understand why Pinterest have done it. But I don't know, what do you think to it?
I'm just not a Pinterest fan. I never have been. My brain doesn't work in that kind of like scrapbooking kind of way. So it's almost like I forget that it's even a thing. So when these bits of news pop up, I go, oh, it's still there then.
I think if you're in certain industries, then Pinterest would be quite high. I think the traffic as well, if you're in, as we were saying, weddings or the food industry or anything like that, I think it is anything quite good.
Product-based.
Yeah, anything product-based. So, Susan Rose China, if you're listening to this, hopefully. Anyway, so that's the next one. The next one I was going to talk about is Coca-Cola. Now, we all know the adverts we're going to have this battle of the adverts that are coming up. And obviously, from a nostalgia point of view, holidays are coming. And we're all waiting for it to come up. But Coca-Cola was a little bit, they didn't know whether to update it because it's a little bit old now, but it's nostalgia, so they wanted to keep it. So actually what they've done is that they've increased their social media presence as well to get that young audience. So they've now got like a filter on Snapchat that you can use for the holidays are coming, and it's just really clever. So the way that Coca-Cola have embraced it, and they've also teetered on doing the Coca-Cola, what's it called? The free Coca-Cola, I've forgotten. Without sugar. Like
the events when they come round the...
No, without sugar. What's it called?
Zero.
That's what I meant to say. Yeah, so they're not doing it. The advert that's coming in for Christmas this time round is for Coca-Cola Zero, not for normal Coca-Cola. And that's what they're focusing on. So, anyone waffling? Your turn.
Right, so Christina, stop me talking now.
Yeah.
So the next thing is, I wanted to have a bit of a chat with you. Breaking news on Facebook.
Yeah.
So basically what Facebook have said is that they've been trialling this in a few places around the world, and they're now rolling it out to the UK as well, to Europe, so the UK too.
Yeah.
And let's say that we are, we're in sunny Daventry. So let's say, the Big Usher, our local paper, release some breaking news. They can label that as breaking news. But in some places it's being talked about as being a label on a post, and in other places it's being talked about as being a tab, which makes me think it might appear in the Facebook local app. So it's a bit of a funny one. I don't quite get... It sounds like a fantastic thing. I'm just not quite sure where they're heading with this one.
Well, and I sort of read it, and I do tend to skim read, you know me, I just look at the top bits and then like skim through things.
Really, Julia?
Yeah, I know, but it's like I get the gist of it and then I go and tell everybody, sometimes without going into too much detail. But the way that I saw this, it was obviously they've trialled it with certain advertisers. So they removed the trending news. Now, I think they probably have done that about the same time as assigning breaking news labels to these various different advertising or publishing companies. So people like local newspapers, big newspapers and things like that. And I reckon it's going to, looking at what the images are on this article that I'll be showing people, I think it's going to end up a little bit like the weather app, like at the top, and it says, today's weather is, and you're going to get this, today's breaking news is, and you're going to get it like that maybe.
Well, that's what made me think whether they were going to incorporate that into the local app. Earlier this year, Facebook made this big thing about, we've now got this, Facebook local app. It's going to be great. You can see all your events in it, blah, blah, blah. And I know you really liked it. I kind of looked at it a couple of times and I was like, is that it? But yeah, I'm boring. I stay at home. I don't like to go out much.
It's handy if you're in a new place. I used to use it all the time when it first came out, because I think it was a bit of a novelty for local areas. But then when I was on holiday, it's quite nice to click on the local app just to see what events are there. So I do use it. If you guys are listening, do you use the local app? Yeah, it'd be interesting to know who does use it and who doesn't. But that's what I think is going to happen with this. I think it will appear in local app, but then if you've got big news that's happening, some sort of earthquake or something like that, that's going to appear right at the top of our Facebook page, because certain people will be able to click a button to say that this is breaking news.
Yeah, and also when you're scrolling through, you're going to see that it's almost like a red label, as they've described it, towards the bottom of the post as well. So a bit like when you see a post now and it shows that it's live, and you can sort of see that ticker counting the seconds. It's going to be flashing up saying it's live as well. But like I said, I think it's one of those things not everyone's going to be using. Yeah.
Do you think? I wonder if they'll use it along with Facebook Live, so like breaking news, where you can click a button and then watch the news of someone reporting it live.
Yeah, possibly. Cool. Things like there's a couple of people I follow on Twitter that are, reporters for BBC Northampton or Look East and that kind of thing, and I could see how they would use it.
Yeah,
100% can see how they would use it. You can imagine when it comes to election time, and the presenter's there with his microphone at the voting booth kind of thing, and doing his live breaking news at that point. But I just don't know. I'm really interested to see how it rolls out, because we could do a breaking news thing every 5 minutes, because there's constantly breaking news within the digital world.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I say, it'll be interesting to see how that works out, whether it is something that every page gets, or whether it is, if you've told Facebook that you are, the category of your page is news related or journalism related, maybe you only get the feature then. The details are really shady at the minute. Not shady.
Otherwise, everyone would be flagging everything as breaking news. Absolutely. Just to get it in front of people. So there must be either some sort of algorithm or some sort of check system to say, yes, this is quantified. If more than 3 people are saying this is news, and they've got the categories of people saying the same thing, then it goes into breaking news. I have no idea. So
yeah, once we've got hold of it, we can play with it.
That's it. Yeah, it's like, you need to get hold of it.
I think that's the thing. Sometimes with this stuff, it's the first story we had with the sharing your groups during a live. That's something. It's not even been announced, and it's been found in the wild.
Yeah.
That could just be tested in one place worldwide.
And then we never see it.
Yeah, and so but it's interesting to know it's happening, of course, but sometimes I think, things are in beta and they never get out of beta.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see that people are thinking that way, and the possibilities as well. I'm just going to end. There was a really good tool of the week, and I like my tools and my gadgets, and I just wanted to mention this one called Clipping Magic. I'll put a link in the comments below. But Clipping Magic is really quite cool. If you're not into graphic design and stuff like that, what you can do is have an object and you can cut around it, click a button, and all the background disappears. So you've actually got the object and it becomes like a transparent image. So I just think it's quite cool. So that's called Clipping Magic, and I just thought I'd mention that because it's my new quirky tool that I found that I think is quite cool.
So you're just spending all day, every day cutting people out of web pages now. That's what you're telling us, Julia.
I was looking for a solution to something, and it was like, oh my god, this is great. I need to tell other people about it. So yeah, Clipping Magic, have a play. I'm sure you'll find all sorts of things that you can do with it. That's it.
Awesome.
Done.
I'll see you in the office later. You can make the tea.
All right, I'll bring the biscuits. See you later, mate. Take care.
See you later.
See you, everyone. Bye bye.